Morning. Get there. How's everybody doing? Good. Awesome. Let's look for some visiting Rotarians or guests. Darren, welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to be here.
Welcome.
I'm Verna, I'm from Lost Coast Rotaract.
I'm Matthew, I'm from Lost Coast Rotaract.
And we have a program this morning. Dan, we got to introduce the program. Our guest this morning.
Yeah, this morning we've got, I understand it's Jack Sheppard speaking for at the Trades Academy, and then his sidekick is what he calls himself. Jim Ritter with the Education at Work.
So I'm going to get us started right away on the induction. So I'd like to welcome our newest RCAS or Sunriser. Turn it over to Marty.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
I was really tired. We've been giving the same membership speech for probably 4 years now. And I forgot mine at home today, so it's going to I still haven't memorized it. But it goes something like this. Today, we get the pleasure to induct a new member into our club. This individual was proposed for membership by Ray Noggle. And it is Michael P. Mr. P. He told me this. Michael Pazeian, right? Pazeian, thank you, Michael. Come on up. So, some of you might have noticed, Michael just started coming to club meetings, wanted to visit us, visited a couple other clubs. I got to say, it was really a pleasure to have our formal membership meeting with him. I think Ray will attest to this. Boy, this guy has a lot of ideas already, a lot of great energy that he wants to bring to the club. And we kept encouraging him, we should visit other meetings, things. Well, I've been to one or two, and you're the club for me. You're the club for me. So, anytime somebody has that attitude, we are happy to have them. So, we circulated his name, didn't hear anything back. And so, I'm happy to say that he has been approved for membership into our club. Ray to do the honors of pinning in. We have these new little rotary pins.
Please, I believe it.
Wow. 10% rule. You gotta be 10% smarter than the thing you're working on. Okay, we really do this.
Put it in his hand.
The magnet's super strong, huh?
It's really strong.
Yeah, that does not seem very good.
Okay. Bar.
Most of us are wearing blue badges. In this packet, you'll find the expectations of a club member and how to turn your red badge into a blue badge. So as is our tradition, everyone, please get up and let's introduce Michael and our club. Congratulations.
Nice job. Hey.
Good work.
No, for the creative sanctuary.
Welcome. Budget for yours. just for those of us who are don't have great hearing, can you pronounce your last name again, please?
Pazeian.
Pazeian?
Pazeian.
Thank you.
So I didn't have to mine Facebook to find some photos. I love the photo on the right. Is there a chance you could share what that is?
This is Morro Bay, one of my favorite places to visit. And the sunrises, the sunsets are just incredible, you know, at the good time of the year. That picture is kind of old. It was actually taken at my cousin's 50th birthday, who's 6 months younger than me. And that was a while ago.
Michael has already gotten us published in the Mad River Union. One of our programs was highlighted, and he did give us some recognition there. So
That's awesome.
thank you very much for that. Welcome to the club.
Thank you.
Last weekend I went to the RCAS Symphony to see Patty playing the bass with Steve and another action student. So it was really interesting. I didn't go in the theater, and I really liked the architecture, and it's really big, and I really like it. Also there was Michael Pazeian, and I had Nina. She's from Indonesia, and she's in the Rotary Club. And I helped her just to draw like the small tiles that they have. There is a few photos of the different drawing they did. This is AFS, like most of the Asian students in Arcata High are from AFS. So I had them too. And it was on Saturday, and on Saturday we went in outside, and we just, with some exchange students, and we went to a pizza place, and we just ate a very large pizza. And after on Sunday we went at the beach in Trinidad to make a beach fire, so that was really great.
All right.
I thought it would be fun to share. There was that induction ceremony, so a Rotaract update. There were 2 new members that were inducted. Sophie, if you'd like to share.
Yeah, so I told you guys at the beginning we only moved down to 5 people, and now we're up to 8 thanks to Steve, AJ, and Tasha. They all brought in new people. And then Kathy Flashman visited, and she's super passionate about Rotaract, so that was exciting. She kind of told us a little history about it, how we let women in before the Rotary clubs in, and things like that. So it was a good visit. And we finally got an updated club photo.
Good job, Sophie. So a reminder after the meeting, we do have food for kids. Do we still need a Cam? I think we were looking for a volunteer to deliver, or?
Cam signed up.
All right.
I just realized my truck's full of apples right now.
Okay.
So maybe one.
Cam's flaking on us.
I can do 2 special bread.
Okay.
8 or whatever it is, and then if somebody can take
Sure.
it.
You do it? Awesome.
4 bags.
Thank you very much.
4 bags to Pacific Union, and then the rest of them go to Arcata. And whoever delivers to Arcata, or to Baldwin, I'm going to give you the number, because sometimes you have to call the office to make sure they meet you at the back door. So I'm going to make sure that number is available, and I have it. Okay?
Thank you, Brett.
Right.
Lisa came out with some new flyers. We have a taste of the holidays coming up. So
And tickets will be here next week. Because of the power outage, there was a little complication. But start spreading the rumor about it. Get your tickets sold before you even get them in your hands.
And so to kick off this season, I thought I'd share a video. 2012. 22 already. No sound. No sound.
Is it wonderful music? We can hear it in our heads.
Laura speaking.
Yeah.
So some upcoming events this Saturday. Again, I missed the.
I have my shirt on. Funny, I have two shirts on. Yes, it's Saturday morning. We're all happy I have my shirt on. Saturday morning, I think 9 o'clock, get down there and register. And I know Melinda and Rachel put a lot of time and energy into this for the community. So my agency has a small team. I know we have a team also, so please come on down.
We do, and as of right now, I believe it's just Jeff and Romy, so you could join our team.
And so our team, our small team might hang out with your small team and we'll
Right on.
your team. So.
And Jessica, this Sunday.
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
So Sunday, we're going to go press apples and create some apple juice. Cam and I went and picked a truckload full of apples. You heard him talk about that his truck is full. Yeah, I helped him. I filled that. Anyway, so there's a lot of apples, but if you have apples on your tree at home, great, bring them because we'll turn them into juice. Also, if you've got containers to be able to put juice into, bring those to be able to put in. Colanders, knives, cutting boards, and a chair. Gosh, there's a lot of things. Refer to my message that went out earlier this week with regard to directions, how to get to Cam's house, and also that list of things if you didn't happen to note it down. The club will provide lunch, and there will be coffee in the morning when we get started. It starts at about, is it 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, Cam, that we're asking people?
9:30.
9:30. Yeah, that's good, huh? And we'll probably go till about 2:30. As long as people are there cutting, they will keep pressing, and that there are apples. Are there? Let's see. If anybody wants to bring some apples, Patty has apples at her house. And so I'm sure that we could create some kind of an apple gathering event tomorrow afternoon after the Alzheimer's walk, if people are interested in being able to make that happen. The more apples you bring, the more juice you get to take home. So there's a direct equation between apples and juice. A 5-gallon bucket will get you somewhere between a half gallon and a gallon of juice, depending on how juicy the apples are. Yes, we're looking for a rough count for how many people are going to be there. Can we get hands in the air if you're going to be there? Well, this is great. Yay. Keep them up, please.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is anyone needing something other than a burger or a dog? Do I need tofu?
Okay. Excellent. Great. We will see you all there. Look forward to it. Any questions? Good.
Thank you, Fellowship Committee. Just a reminder, this upcoming Tuesday, we have a board meeting, Uncle Bank at 7 a.m.
For all your red badgers.
For those who just turned red badge, welcome to come to Uncle Bank at 7 a.m. It's one of your criteria to get to a blue badge, so definitely welcome. It's coffee. And then this coming 21st is another Makeup Monday at the Griffin from 4 to 6. She does also coincidentally have a whiskey tasting right afterwards. Possibly G extended. And Maggie, plans for Florida?
Yeah, so this is kind of small to see up there, but we are with Arcata and Mad River. We are going to be with Six Rivers Brewery on the 24th. It says 11:30 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. All day.
You'll be there all day?
No. No. And but the Mad River, they're having their meeting there, at noon, so you could go for their meeting and then just forget to leave. Between 5 and 8 is when we will have the auction prizes. We'll be selling tickets to win one of 3 different auction items. Each club is bringing one. I mentioned this last time. If anybody wants to contribute anything to that auction prize, it's the theme is food, and booze from other countries. So it's kind of like a world polio day thing, only minus the polio, just with the food. So please come out. They're giving us 25% of every pint they sell, so that's awesome. And we hope to see everyone there. The auction we'll be doing one an hour, starting at like 6, one at 6, one at 7, one at 8. So you can buy the tickets, and when we get closer, we may be selling tickets to people. You don't have to be there to win. There'll be 3 different big basket themed, food themed probably baskets. So
raffle.
Yeah, it's a Dutch auction raffle, yes, whatever. But yeah, it is tickets going into the pot, and we draw the winners. Huh? Yeah, yes, sure. Oui.
And the proceeds get split equally between the 3?
That's right. We'll split the proceeds. All the clubs will go towards our Rotary, our polio contribution.
So they're going to write a check to the Rotary Foundation on behalf of each club, and then we'll get to send it in so we get the credit.
Right. We're going to do it so we get the credit. And right.
Okay, so it's not literally a quarter of each pint.
Yeah. A quarter of each pint is going to polio. If you want to designate yourself as polio that night, then you might be lucky.
Get a quarter of your beer. Is that how it works?
So it is the start of the media blitz. The photo on the left is what they're going to use to put in the paper. And then they just started printing these. I only have a few, and they're going to print some more. But if you want to put up a poster in your place of business, I have to advertise the event.
Oh, and if you don't want to go to ours, they're doing it all over the county and up in Del Norte as well. So if you want to drive up to Del Norte and drink, you can do that.
Next, would you like to come up?
Hi everyone, my name's Marina. I'm the president-elect for Lost Coast Rotaract.
Yay.
Natalie, the treasurer for Lost Coast Rotaract. Right.
I'm Matthew, I'm the PR for Lost Coast Rotaract.
So we have our annual fundraiser, Spirits and Spirits, coming up October 25th. This year we have created 2 different tours. The first 3 include 5 stops and a cocktail pairing at each stop, cocktail or beer or wine. And then the last 2 tours add a 6th stop, which is the Carson Block building. So we're going to do a champagne toast in the remnants of the old theater in the Carson Block building. So we also included the afterlife party, which is it's going to be the reception, which everyone is welcome to come to before and after their tour at the Clark Historical Museum. We'll have a no-host bar, raffle, some music, and this kind of the same characters that you might see along the tour as well. The tickets with 5 stops are $45. The tickets with 6 stops are $50. As if you're interested in buying tickets, you can email us. We can do it in person. We have physical tickets we can give you. We have events on Facebook, Instagram with links to brown paper tickets where you can buy them online. But if you know our email, which I can give to you, you can just email us and avoid that service charge on brown paper tickets. So if you're interested in tickets, let us know. Romy is
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock?
We're gonna be grown-ups. We're doing the latest one, the most fun. We're there for the after party. 9 o'clock is when our club is doing this. 9 o'clock. The 8 o'clock's already sold out. 9 o'clock, you gotta get on it. Tickets are going fast. This is a super, super fun event. 9 o'clock tour.
There's a lot of new stuff this year.
Woo!
Yeah, new stops.
New history.
Yeah,
right.
There's new history.
The after party is in the old Ingemar Theater.
No, the after party is in the Clark Historical Museum.
Okay.
There's a gotcha.
Okay.
The tour will go through, the 9 o'clock tour will go through the Carson Walk. So the stops are gonna be the Clark, Arts and Drafts, Eureka Books, the Underground Max Keys, the Inn at 2nd and C, and for the 9 o'clock will be the Carson Walk building. Any questions?
Does anybody want a flyer to put up in their workplace or somewhere? I got 3, so you guys can.
High traffic areas, high traffic areas.
$5 for each post. No, I have one hand right here. Is there anybody else want one of these? You don't take it if you don't need it, but we got one more. The last one for $5. Okay, we'll keep it. There you go. Thank you. Tell all the people.
I'll take one.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty busy.
Thank you for creating this fun event.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Please see us afterwards. We got tickets. You can buy some of us.
On the 26th, the Foundation Dinner North at Sequoia Conference Center.
How many people are going? Good work. Thank you.
Superhero themed. Come in your do-goodery cape.
Right.
You can come in Superman costume.
I don't have any updates, but November 1st, Halloween party at Tom's place.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yes. So I'll throw in some recognitions here. Happy anniversary, Terri.
So the picture on the left is Marty's parents. They got married in 1939. And I never got to meet his dad. He died in 75, and Marty and I didn't meet till 77. But I do have a story. When I was selected to be district governor in November of 2000, I had business cards printed with Marty's and my picture on them. And my friend Jackie Foote, because a lot of people knew Jackie, her mother lived in a retirement home in Marin County. And she was up visiting, and she said, there's some old guy in my retirement home, and he's an old Rotarian, and he hates the idea of women being Rotarians. So I want to give him your card. So I gave her my card, and a few weeks later, she called me with the story. She gave it to the old guy, and told him that I was going to be district governor, and he said, well, I don't know about that, but that man in the picture on the card is the spitting image of Emil Lay. Well, it turns out that this guy's name was Al Quilici. He was a past district governor. He was governor when our district was combined with Marin and San Francisco counties. So he was governor a long time ago. And he and Marty's dad had known each other since the 40s because they were both painting contractors, and they belonged to the Painting Contractors Union in San Francisco. So that was my small world story. That picture of Marty looking at the beach in Kauai, he hates to have his picture taken. So when he's in pictures, it's a rare occasion. I had to look hard to find pictures with him in it. When he retired 4 years ago, his office wanted photos, and so I sent all these photos. And I had no idea that they were going to turn that one into a picture about that big. And put a big matted frame around it at the party, and all of his co-workers signed messages to him around that picture. So, great retirement. So, yeah. Anyway, so we're spending our 37 years in August, we're spending our time traveling while we're still upright. So we went to Japan, we're going to England next month, and we're just on the road a lot. And we haven't been finding Rotary makeups, but maybe we'll try and do that. Thank you.
Thanks, Terri. And then this one was sent to me recently.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hey, was that actually it is. Yeah. Ray took the picture.
Gold mining.
Yeah, we got out in September. So that is my wife there, and my 2 sons in the back, and then Aaron, who's got the sticks in his hand. That's his girlfriend, Chokura, that got to go with us. So it was a lot of fun. We made it for about 24 hours, and then it started to rain for about another 24 hours, but that didn't dampen our spirits. It was just fine. So yeah, Road River from Argo, I think they put in, down through Foster Park.
Sweet. Thank you. And then this past weekend was Pastel. That was our efforts on the left there, Sunrise, Rotary Club work here. And then Tom's, Wallace and Hines, Walker and Alzheimer's, and a little Wayne Flatman on the bottom. Amazing. That's the original. At this point, I'll turn it over to our program here. So, Jack and Jim, you're welcome to take it over here.
Well, good morning. Just going to do an update. Some of you weren't here last time. How many were here when I presented? How many were not here? Yeah, we got quite a mix. So, what I do is I promote the trades throughout Humboldt County with local high school students. And as many as you know, we do have a national crisis right now where students aren't getting interested in the trades. And so what my job is to promote it. I work with students that typically are in shop classes or ag. And what I have found is a lot of these students have no idea what exists out here for employment in the trade. They go to class, they may be enrolled in a wood shop class, but they don't know all the other possibilities. And taking these students out and them seeing all these different opportunities to them, those headlights come on. They go, oh wow, this is possible employment for me. And that's the idea of the program. So what we do is we do field trips to a lot of work sites and businesses throughout Humboldt County. Also bring in guest presenters. And it's just all about awareness. So the skills gap that we have, anybody hear that? Okay, so what is the skills gap?
Between the person and the skills they need to do the job.
Yeah, so what we've got is we've got I also call them the silver tsunami. You've got these people that have been in there so long in their business that there's nobody coming in behind to fill that gap, right? And working with students and getting awareness that there's actually great opportunity out there for them, that's really starting to work. So last year really was like the first year we really started this program. And what I'm here to do is to update you on where we're at. Okay, so things have come a long ways. We've got our website. This is the Trades Academy at hcoe.org. Feel free anytime to go check it out. All right, now you move this thing. Two fingers. And at the bottom of the website, we've got these different things for the students to explore. And one of the first things that I do, kind of ended up as a career counselor for a lot of these students. And I aimed them right here. This does not like my finger. Just tap it. Or you can press left. Yeah. Okay, so if you take a look here, we've got all sorts of different opportunities, career videos, our blog, different resources in regards to our business partners, programs at CR for their career technical ed that they offer. Some students are ready to go right into a trade, some aren't. What's nice about CR, it gets them ready for that particular trade. It's a good time for them to explore. So we work with them promoting their programs also. We also have our blog. Okay. Just press enter. Yep, that'll work. It's slow. It's slow. Okay.
It's 7:30.
It is not no way. All right, now I want to move this up. Anyway, so so this is just an example of some of the things that we do. McKinleyville High School right now, they are upgrading the whole track and field perfect opportunity for the building trade students to go ahead and check out what's going on there. So Pearson's company, they took some time and they showed the kids all about what they do in regards to the plans, the planning, the concrete, the permitting process. That takes a long time. The students, what they're getting is this information directly from somebody who does this every day. And the questions I always ask with the students is what are you looking for somebody who wants to get employed with you? You know, why do you have to let certain employees go? If a student comes in with tools, does that help? The answer always is yes. And this is just one example. We've got many. You can scroll down. Keep going. On this blog, you're going to see a lot of the different things that we've done. We have Jim Ritter's program that he's going to be talking about here in a little bit. Actually, we're all under the same program. What am I saying? And keep going a little bit on that blog. Go ahead and hit 2. Yeah, so last year we ended with the Industrial Technology Show at HCOE, where we used a lot of local businesses as judges to look at students' work that they've done. We had a fantastic turnout. It was a great evening. A lot of these students left with awards and things like this, just so they get that pat on the back and they understand what they're doing. It has a lot of relevance. And so this show has been, this is probably about the 30th year of it, and it's been a hit. So keep going down. Yeah, so one of the things that we added to this program is automotive. We're hearing from a lot of auto businesses, there's a shortage. They're not getting technicians. They're not actually getting anybody wanting to apply. And so a lot of these high schools that do have auto programs, we're bringing in industry, we're bringing in technicians to work with the students so they get an idea of some of these up-to-date technologies out there with vehicles. Even like this windshield repair guy, we brought him in because the student had a chip on his window. And this guy's making a great living just going around repairing chips. And you know, what was neat about these kind of things, though, is students start asking questions like, how do I get into this? How do I, what does it take for education? You know, and the other thing is what's happened is college has been pushed very hard. And what we want is we want it to, so that the trades and college are about the same level. Quite often it's college versus the trade. We want to see like this. So when it goes to the student, when we're selling this, there's validity in what they're doing. It's okay, it's good. They can spend 4 years getting trained in a particular trade, like college, and start progressing in that particular business. So, yeah, this is working out well. Some things that we've taken on this year is a lot of the alternative ed schools. So I'm working with charter schools now, also working with continuation, community day schools. Also, there's a lot more girls taking this program, which is neat. What's happened is it's word of mouth. You know, the first year was the pilot year. We had a few students, girls that got involved with the program, and they're telling their friends now, and it's really neat to see that population come up. So again, this program is turning into a lot more than I ever imagined, which is great. We've got a lot of momentum behind it. The Mad River Rotary, they're sponsoring this program for their fundraiser this year, November 2nd at the Blue Lake Casino. And I'm really tickled just how this has come about. It is grant to grant which supports this program. And so Mad River Rotary helping out, everybody getting the word out, business partners contributing. financially, and especially just going out to these schools makes a big difference. So really appreciate your time today. If you do get a chance, please take a look at that website. There's some neat things. One last thing too, I've got a mobile lab I told you all about. You're starting to use that a lot more this year, especially with these charter schools. They don't have any shop classes, and students really like to work with their hands. And it's just, this job is nothing but positive. These kids are so happy when I pull in there and they're able to do a project. So right now we're starting out with wood projects, simple things such as they're making a little tool tote out of pine. But we're also going to be exploring things like metal. I taught shop for about 15 years, sorry. And metal was one of the things that I taught with auto. But there's just so many things for these students just to learn: plumbing, electrical, carpentry. Some schools, we're beautifying their schools. We're building planters around their schools or picnic tables. And these are opportunities that they never had. So just getting these kids out there working with their hands, learning how to measure. That's right now. That's what we're learning right now. It's huge. So we've got a lot of business partners that are extremely interested in this, because any bit that they put into this, down the road, they need to get an employee out there. So we really want to make sure that they're well, shaking hands with a possible future employer, breaking the ice. It's one of those things where a lot of students, they're scared. That first time going out meeting somebody, they're just not quite ready for it. And that's part of my job, is making this a good, positive experience. So, can we show one of those videos? So our comm center at HCOE, something else that we're doing is every subject area that I cover, I present a video to the students so they get an idea about some of these industries out there. So this video right here, this is one on metalworking. It interviews O&M Industries and I think Bay Tank. Also, it's kind of neat on this particular video. There's some graduates of mine that are working in industry. But we'll see what happens if we can get sound.
I have a question while you're working on that.
Yeah.
I was thinking in terms, you talked about tools and kids needing tools.
Oh,
it's working. It's working. And would it be...
So this is for high school students, so you got
That's awesome.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll ask you.
Okay.
Insurance contract. That's for us.
Oh, really? Awesome.
My name is Justin Jackson, and my job position is the plasma operator here at Bay Tank. Well, today I programmed a seed for one concern. We did a test piece and cut it out to see how they would like the size. So on the computer, I draw it up and design it on the CAD program. From there, converts it into a G-code for the torchmate to read. You set the voltages, the dwells, the amperage, and the speed, and you just press the button and it cuts it out.
I schedule jobs for production. I do estimating, I do drawings, I call customers, I call vendors, I order material, and just try to keep the guys working.
My name is Chris Albright, O&M Industries. I'm the COO of the business. My job is to essentially work on the business and to improve our processes and procedures as a business as a whole.
Chris Macbeth, and I'm a project manager and run the sheet metal division here. I do a lot of the estimating, get plans come in from the different contractors or the builders exchange. I'll go through the plans, take off all the equipment and the material that's on there and come up with costs. I have to get everything ordered and schedule the guys to get all the work installed.
My name is Isaac Doan. I'm a lead fabricator at O&M Industries. We're building an RTO unit, stands for Reproductive Thermal Oxidizer. It does the same thing that a catalytic converter does in your car. It takes bad emissions and burns them and runs them through a filter before they exit into the atmosphere.
We're just doing certification for a job we're doing in Eureka. We have to take these classes so we can make sure all of our welds are clean and that they're not going to break.
I was looking for something new, and I was always a woodworker by trade. Took some programs in CR, some CNC programs there, and welding class.
I was trying to find a good job with benefits and retirement and good health insurance. They didn't hire me right away. I came here every day for 2 weeks, and I told the lady Carol, her name was, in the front office, every day. I got my boots, I'm ready to work, and after 2 weeks of that, they hired me just to get me out of their hair.
I was just rated as a kid. Welding was an option that through high school. I just started taking welding. I was working my way up. I started working here about 2 years ago. I was just a welder fabricator, and then they gave me a chance inside the office.
It's really nice to be able to see an outcome of what you do every day. The value of working with your hands, it's very, very rewarding.
It's more than just a paycheck. You know, you're here because you like what you do.
Study math.
Take math classes. I went through a bunch of math classes in college and took a bunch of engineering classes.
Math is a real strong one.
Believe it or not, pay attention to math. I was all about welding, and I wanted to be a welder. Well, that's such a small part of this job. And that's what separates the guys that get paid a lot from the guys that don't.
Finish your education as far as you're gonna take it. Some guys out here that means they got a GED, some of them means they've got their high school diploma. It could be they graduated from CR, or we even got some that went to like HSU or something like that and then just decided they like working with their hands. But the more education you have coming in, you can start out a little bit higher up.
We hire all range of employees, all range of school experience. It is a job that will be here for a long time into the future.
I feel secure knowing that I can go anywhere in this country, in the world, and have a good chance of getting a job in an industrial environment.
So and then, actually at the end of that, those credits, that was just, there was probably well over 50 of our business partners that roll after that. So that's just one of many of these videos that I show these students just when we start any subject study. So if you were interested in it, you might be now. Yeah, it's a really good program in regards to getting these guys, gals, interested.
Yeah, I'm just thinking in terms of basic tools. I was thinking that there's so many people in this room and in the community that probably have way more tools than they ever need anymore. Is that something that, I mean, do you want them to have brand new stuff, or people have usable, good tools that they're not using? I mean, I just was thinking, because everybody has, trust me, you all, everyone except for me has tons of stuff they're not using. I have nothing that I'm not using. I mean, I have nothing, and I'm not using it. Well, I'm just curious if that was something that would be helpful.
I would say it depends on what the tool is.
Right.
What it could very well could be. I think that's a great idea. Something that I would like to do down the road would be possibly sponsor some students. You know, something like that, where let's say, I know like for contractors, if the student has their own tool belt and hammer and that kind of thing, those are things that they're immediately going to need. if it's an auto technician, they will need their own set of tools. So things like that really do tend to help students when they start out. But no, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that we all should throw a jump at it, but,
Yeah.
I mean, some people have a nice double set of tools and everything. I mean, they have more than that.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
Just a question about getting girls involved in it. The videos don't have very many girls in them.
Right.
And I, through the years, I'm an engineer, went to HSU, but I've gone through trade schools too, just because I was interested in it, and welding classes and a bunch of classes at CR. And there are some girls in those classes, but not a lot. I mean, I think it's really important to encourage, girls, young women to see this as a viable career option. And what can be done to really encourage them, especially at a younger age, to get engaged?
So when I was teaching, I actually got to a point where I had a class that was actually, there was one boy in it out of 24. So there are ways. And from a teaching standpoint, it's number one is it's got to be a safe environment.
Right.
If it's something where they walk in, they feel welcome, right? And that they feel like they're safe, they're not out of place. That's sometimes things that I've heard from girls. It's like, there's so many guys in here, it's weird, right? But what it takes is, like I told this one gal that said that, I said, you're right, but if you start coming to this class and you bring your friends in, will you feel more comfortable? She said, yeah, bring them on in. So it's things like that, letting them know that this is a safe, fun environment to be in, and you can make great money down the road. So yeah.
I was a teacher for more than 40 years, and when Los Alamitos unified the schools, one of the first things they did is they put together a committee for career education. And I was selected to be on the committee. I was the new kid on the block. So there are districts all around the state that have K-12 curriculum for careers. And one of the things we could do is find out what fits best for these local schools and go and present it to them. And then they do in-services with their teachers. And from kindergarten to 12th grade, every teacher has something along the lines of careers that they can talk to their students with, no matter what subject area.
Yeah, and actually one of the things that I'm doing now with the K-8, these videos, things like that, sharing this curriculum with them, just to get it started early. When they know that this opportunity exists, younger, that gets them into these shop classes too. And then for farther down the road, like CR and whatnot, what a great opportunity for them. So yeah, I know, like Tom, you had one last year, and she's at CR right now. I saw Claire just the other day. She's loving it. But yeah, awesome. Yeah, she was our poster child.
Yeah. What are the options for summer jobs? I mean, my first job was crawling around in attics putting insulation, and it was awful, but it showed me what a job was.
Absolutely.
And now it seems like high school kids are competing with people trying to feed a family for food service jobs. Are you seeing any possibilities for summer employment with these companies?
Absolutely, and also Jim's going to share more with you in a little bit about what we're doing for that. Typically, the issue now is comp. It wasn't a big deal when I was growing up, but comp tends to be always any employer. You're going to bring this student into my business. What if they get hurt? But there are ways around that through education. So yeah, there is definitely some possibilities.
Well, it's summertime right now. There's such a shortage that we're taking people on that we've become the training grounds of a lot of employers, but summer work we have a lot of it. Everybody, there's a shortage everywhere across the country.
Do you also provide some training for these students
on how to run their own business, how to be their own boss, you know, how to file their taxes, how to take care of their comp, how to, is that part of their training?
So really right now, we're concentrating on soft skills just to get them in the door. So soft skills, that's the handshake, the interviewing, resume, that part of it right now. The entrepreneur part of it, I think that's a great facet that could be part of this program. I really do, because there's a lot of, if you look at Humboldt County, how many small businesses there are throughout here. We have a ton of them. And if you've got somebody that has that initiative to go for it, and they got some training, yeah, I think it's a good one.
Jack, how do we get kids involved with your program? I mean, so if somebody's interested or we want to let them know about your program, how do they contact you, basically?
So there's many ways. All the high schools know about my program. The counselors all know about my program. That's one, the counselors. Also, all of the ag and CTE teachers, I work with all of them. And so those are the main ones that I'm working with now. It's just me, and it's a huge county. So it was interesting. We ran off somewhere around 150 applications to the program, and we're out. We've got to make more copies. And if any student shows any interest in this, I'm more than happy to work with them any way I can. So just, they can contact the counselor. I also, on the website, it's got my contact. So yeah, not a problem.
And then how many students can you handle? I know like you take a lot of field trips and things like that. Do you select from different groups?
So the way it works with the field trips and things like that, it's really the teacher recommendation. There may be an interest, say, in running equipment. And others may be more into doing something like electrical, so they're really not interested in it. So the teacher and the student, they talk, I come in and talk with them, and then I put the field trip together. That's how we do it. So I really want to bring students that are serious with me that want to learn about it. So yeah, that's how it works.
So one of the most innovative programs I've heard about is one that's down in Salinas right now, where a judge has funded a diversion program for troubled youths. Kids that get in trouble or looking like they're having a career in crime, he's got tired of seeing them come through the court all the time. So he set up a program, and he brings in, and they actually go to a retreat, if you will, and they have a learning center up there. And they teach construction skills as well as restaurant skills and other things, and that's part of their program, is to get retrained into something that they can do with their hands and kind of change their whole life and come out of that. So there's a lot of things that are being thought of these days to bring kids in. But a lot of times these kids that are getting in trouble aren't successful in school traditional environments, and having that opportunity to learn trades or skills that puts them back out in the street with income opportunities is amazing.
That's so true. You know, I was a continuation high principal before this, and alternative ed, working with these students at high risk, getting them into something they feel successful is huge. And if you can just teach them something that down the road, especially construction or woodworking or any of these trades like this, that could be a possible job. So yeah, programs like that, like mine, working with alternative ed sites, especially the continuation community students, those are the ones for me. They take a little more time, but those are the ones that we really need to put a lot of time into. Yeah, and last year I had 5 from Arcata, their continuation school that I worked with, and right at the end of the year I got some jobs. So most of them are still working there. It blows my mind. But yeah, they really, I check in every once in a while, see things how they're going on. Yeah.
One last question. Do you get pushback from parents who say, my kid's got to go to college?
You know, I haven't, because I'm directly working with the student and the teacher. What goes on at home, that's a whole other thing. And you know, like I said, I feel that the trade and college, they should be looked at equally. And you know. It really depends on the student.
You know, so you don't have orientation for like the parents, like here's our program. I mean, you have this great information here, but do you actually conduct an orientation?
So what I typically do is I just do an orientation to the class. And I have limited numbers too. I can't take a huge number of students in for every site. Maybe down the road we can. Take another person. But right now, the orientation is just going directly to these schools or classes, and that's how I'm handling that right now. But yeah, down the road, we'd love to open it up. All right, what's about time?
Do you mind sticking around for some questions?
Yeah, I know, that sounds great. Yeah, if you got any questions afterward, please come by, we'll talk more. One last thing before I turn it over to Jim. I'm going to put my fire department hat on. So Philbrook Fire Department thanks you all for your donation for our repeater. Over in Philbrook, we have horrible reception, especially down towards the end of the valley. And your group put some money towards our repeater project. And so we're hoping to get that repeater up and running in November. And we'll have our own tactical channel and everything, and it should be really good. So thank you very much.
Jack, before you sit down there, thank you very much for the presentation. Appreciate the updates. You're always welcome to that back, and looks like there's a lot of people engaged with the Trades Academy. So
fantastic.
Find ways to engage the organization. We made a donation on behalf to the Wheelchair Foundation, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Right on. And I do have to say, if I do anything wrong, raise my sponsor.
So he was trained properly or improperly? Wait.
Would you?
Oh, great. Great. Now I'm going to be blamed.
Yes. Read the number, please.
767231.
I'm sorry, you have reached one number that is not in service at this time.
You saw my ticket.
Okay. $5, right?
Yeah.
$5. Sir, would you pick it up?
767-212.
Oh, John.
Really quickly, it wasn't up on the announcements, but this Thursday we have the cross-country championships. I did send up a sign-up genius. We could really use some help. We often get a lot of support from the Interact, but they're not meeting right now in solidarity with the teachers. So we could definitely use some more support. Check your email for the sign-up genius. It's great to watch kids run and achieve and make it around the track. So that'll be Thursday. We're providing the awards. I'm working with Redwood Yogurt, has donated ice cream gift certificates for all the finishers. It should be a lot of fun.
Where's the race?
It is at the Arcata Community Center.
Thank you.
Thank
you for your work, Rebecca.